Stay with us for just a second. I just want to tell our audiences, as you can see over here, yesterday the big announcement that came forward from the NDMC and the BJP's Meenakshi Lekhi was that Rajpath would be renamed into, as we're already telling you, Kartavya Path. Now, there's been much opposition reaction to this. I want to take you to one such key reaction coming in from the Congress leader and the Rajasthan Chief Minister, Ashok Gehlot. Take a look at what he had to say.
और बीजेपी के जुमले अच्छे हैं। ये सबका साथ सबका विकास है, तो सबका साथ सबका विकास हो रहा है क्या देश के अंदर? धर्म के नाम पे तो राजनीति कर रहे हैं और सबका साथ सबका विकास की बात करते हैं। अब ये नया नाम लेके आ गए, अच्छी बात है, सरकार उनकी है, नाम बदलते रहो पर साथ में काम भी करो। जो मैं फिर कहना चाहूँगा, सबसे बड़ी चिंता है महंगाई की, बेरोजगारी तो है ही है, पर साथ में है सामरिक ताना माना कमज़ोर हो रहा देश का। उसके ऊपर सरकार को चिंता करनी चाहिए, विशेष रूप मोदी जी को, अमित शाह जी को और बीजेपी को।
अगर आप दशकों का कांग्रेस पार्टी का और इस परिवार का इतिहास देखें तो कभी जाति के नाम पे, कभी धर्म के नाम पे, कभी क्षेत्र के नाम पे भारत को तोड़ने के षड्यंत्र और साजिशों और गुनाहों से भरा हुआ है। मैं मानता हूं कि एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश भी है और उन लोगों के लिए सबक भी है जो संविधान की बात तो करते हैं लेकिन संविधान को मानते नहीं। संविधान में कर्तव्य की बात भी है और अधिकारों की बात भी है, तो इसलिए कर्तव्य पद भी है और लोक कल्याण भी है।
देश के लिए गौरव का दिन है कि प्रधानमंत्री देश के राजधानी में एक ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट को चालू करने जा रहे हैं जो विश्व में भारत का मान सम्मान बढ़ाएगा और मानसिकता में परिवर्तन ला रहे हैं। ये लोकतंत्र के मंदिर को जाने का रास्ता है, ये वो कर्तव्य पथ है। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने कर्तव्य निष्ठा से संकल्प लिया देश के गरीबों को जीवन में परिवर्तन लाने का, ये उसके लिए कर्तव्य पथ है। गौरव भी दिया है और एक नैरेटिव के नाते, सोच के नाते एक बड़ा परिवर्तन दिया है।
Okay, we're going to go back now to my colleague Arun to understand more. Arun, when this project was announced, perhaps the biggest opposition that had come through was to the cost of the project. It had been reported that it would cost about, I think, 20,000 crores. And at that point, the opposition had pointed out that the country was inside a health crisis. It was during COVID. They'd said, what was the need for such a large bill? The government had said, we don't know the final cost of the project. We'll only know once the entire project is complete. What numbers do we have with us, Arun, currently on what it cost the government?
Well, see, 20,000 crore is something which was initially said, but ultimately when the entire project, the entire redevelopment work is completed, then we'll be able to actually know, how much it has costed. But of course, this entire project, has faced a lot of hurdles, and of course, secondly, government actually has to say a lot of things, not of course outside, but also in the courts and even in the parliament, the justifications from the government side. And in fact, it has also become a very important point for the government while they were speaking in the parliament or in the courts, that the older structure, the existing structure, has various issues as far as safety is concerned in this parliament. That is something which is not there. And also, the amenities are deteriorating in these existing parliament or North Block and South Block. So therefore, when you are planning to increase the strength of Lok Sabha, then you need a larger parliament. And of course, one reason which was given by the government is also that there are ministries which are located at different places. So if people have to visit, if somebody has to visit those ministries, it takes time from one ministry to other ministry. So once you have this new structure in this will have all the state of the art facilities. This will have the capacity to actually hold larger number of member of parliaments, and also all the ministries will be very close to each other. So if somebody wants to visit the ministries, it will not take much time from them to move from one ministry to another ministry. And of course the importance of it, the historical importance of this Central Vista project is also going to be very, very significant, because this will give us our own structure which we have created. Because as of now we have our North Block and South Block which has been created by the Britishers. We have our parliament which has been created by the Britishers, and that is something the agenda of the government, which they have been making it very clear for the longest time, that the colonial history is something which we need to get rid of. And Prime Minister Modi has given the first sign of it in 2016 when he changed the name of the race course road to Lok Kalyan Marg. Lok
Just
Kalyan
stay with
Marg
us for a
was the
second. I
signal
actually
that-
want to go over right now to BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla to ask him exactly what you were about to touch on. Shehzad, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning News. Shehzad, we were just pointing to what Ashok Gehlot, the Rajasthan Chief Minister, had to say on the change that we saw yesterday, where you saw the Rajpath changed. Now it's got its name changed to Kartavya Path. The thing that you've heard opposition leaders say all through yesterday is, first you change the name of Racecourse Road to Lok Kalyan Marg, then you change Aurangzeb Road's name to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Road. Where does it stop? They've also said that politics is being done in the name of religion again and again, and then you're going around changing names. That's what they've had to say about the BJP. How would you respond to that?
But Aurangzeb Road was named after Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, so how was it a communal name? The fact of the matter is, whether it's reclaiming the canopy and installing Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue, whether it's replacing Abide With Me by Watan Ke Logon, whether it's renaming the 3 islands of Andaman Nicobar, whether it's renaming Racecourse Road, a colonial baggage with Lok Kalyan Marg, or replacing the Navy ensign which had George's Cross with Shivaji Chhatrapati inspired naval ensign. How any of this move smacks of communalism. In fact, this is reclaiming our legacy. It's reclaiming Swaraj, and therefore it should be celebrated. But unfortunately, those who walk on Gulami Path and Parivar Path are always unhappy when the country walks on Kartavya Path.
Okay, and Shehzad, if I could very quickly ask you the answer to one more question here before we let you go. What would the BJP have to say to the argument that our country's laws and administration are based, unfortunately or fortunately, on British roots? Many of our laws borrow directly from British laws. And so how do you go about changing our country's entire institutional foundation?
This is the problem with the Congress party. The Congress party itself is so embedded with Videshi thought processes that there is a difference between having a system of laws which are followed in a number of countries, not because they happen to be English laws, but because that's the system of laws that we follow, parliamentary democracy that we follow. So naturally, there might be some commonalities between various countries and their systems. But that is quite different from having a road named after Rajpath. In fact, just let me add something. Raj is done only by some people. Kartavya is followed by everybody. So today, there has been a nationalization of a Rajpath into a Kartavya Path. जो कुछ का रास्ता था, वो अब सबका रास्ता बना है. I don't know why Congress party opposes the thought process behind it.
Okay. Shehzad, thank you so much for joining us. That's Shehzad Poonawalla from the BJP. We'll try to